So, take a seat. Hello, Christoph.
Hi, Markus.
We are very happy to have you here. So, I think we can sit down. Very welcome to the afternoon session on Blue Stage. We had a great time already during the entire morning hours, and now we are starting, I think, with one of the highlights. No, it's the highlight, but one of the highlights of the day. We have with us on the stage over here, Christoph Debus. He is the new CEO of the DERTOUR Group, and I'm very happy that you're joining with us. I think it's the third day you are in.
Officially, it's, I started on the 1st of March, so it's day 1.5 at the office. So yeah. I feel quite humbled and excited to be here. Hi, everyone.
Okay, so even if it's 1.5 days ago now you started, hopefully you can bring us some insights from DERTOUR. I guess you already got some information.
I'm well prepared.
You are prepared, so very happy to have you here on stage. Yes, let's start. We have, I think it's a very fine introduction to the topic we have afterwards when we're talking about the market and the entire tour operator market. So when we are talking afterwards, we will talk about the industry insights and the industry, what's happening here in the industry. Now you were joining the industry for many years, and then a little bit stepping aside, you've been to Flixbus. So what was your position there, and what would you bring us to the market, and what kind of insights you have you can use for your entire job now?
Yeah, so first of all, I consider Flix also to be part of the wider travel space. It's an amazing company. I was member of the executive board and CFO, maybe a little bit more. I think Flix is such a tremendous travel tech success story, and I'm quite pleased to have even some old friends and colleagues from Flix here in the room. Within 13 years, this company has built a global footprint. It's active in 45 markets. I think more than 5,500 destinations last year, around about 90 million passengers, I think, and that's such a successful story. It's growing. It's profitable, and I think it's built by, a German startup, by German entrepreneurs, and a fantastic team. And, when I joined, you asked me what I learned when I was there, I think actually I brought a lot to it, which I learned in the travel industry when I was, for the last 2 decades, a C-level executive in the travel industry, is really how to manage capacities, how to do yield management, how to turn a business profitable, which we successfully did in the last 3 years at Flix. And we became really, for the last 3 years, we delivered record years. We were always profitable. We were growing double digit, and we had strong free cash flows. But what I learned at Flix is really the passion and the entrepreneurial power. And that's something which is truly amazing. If you build a company which is seen like an Uber or an Airbnb by very visionary entrepreneurs and by a team, that was for me really also a game changer in terms of learning experience, and I'm very, very grateful for my time, and that's why I stay also on the supervisory board of Flix.
Sounds really, really great. And you just mentioned Flix as a travel tech company. So I think this is quite interesting. What kind of experience you bring exactly to your new job? If you think about what would you like to get a takeaway from Flix to DERTOUR?
It's a thinking. It's really that you center your thinking around the customer, that you really, what is the issue you want to help and to support the customer in the best way. And that's something which startups do in a very disruptive way, and Flix did it brilliantly, and that's why it's one of the most amazing European startups. And I think to keep that in mind, and with my experience, which I have now with 2 decades in traditional travel, airlines and hotel businesses, I think that's also what I hope to bring in combination to DERTOUR, that we really look what is great, and there are a lot of pots of excellence at DERTOUR Group, so I think that's really fantastic what this team is doing, but obviously keep this entrepreneurial mindset, this customer centricity, and that's the learning which I would like to bring to DERTOUR.
Great. So, looking back to your life, you have been in different positions. Now you're getting to be the CEO of one of the biggest tourism companies in Europe. What are you looking for the most?
Oh, there's a lot of passion. You know, it's in a world where everyone looks a couple of hours per day on their smartphones. We have the privilege to really provide the customers with real-life experiences. Actually, the customers, they trust the most valuable time they have. Their holidays, they trust us. And to really create lasting memories, to help them unveiling the world, the beauties of the world, I think that's what DERTOUR is doing. And that's such a privilege, and that's why I'm very, very excited about to join a company where you really have the privilege and the honor to build lasting memories for our customers. They dream about their holidays, they enjoy their holidays, and if we do well, then we create these lasting memories, and that's what I want to do with the amazing team of DERTOUR.
The amazing team. Yes, I know the team. It is amazing, I can say.
I met a few, not everyone yet, but I have to say, very, very good people.
But if you think about the international approach of DERTOUR, what do you think, what will happen internationally to the entire business group of DERTOUR?
Yeah, so currently we are already number 2 in Europe, as you said. I think we are active from the source market perspective in 16 European source markets. We have our destination management teams. We really have all the capabilities on the ground in 31 global markets to serve our customers in destination. So it's a truly international business. And this was built in the past, you know, by a lot of acquisitions. And that's obviously one of our focus to build this group even more, that we are more integrated, a more platform approach process wherever we can really rely on central functions to build that, but still keep the local individualities to really make sure we serve the customers best.
Yeah, so you just say you're integrating. I think one story everyone knows right now is there is a match. I read in the papers there's a match. And what do you think about well, integration of hotel plan? What are your first sights on this, and how will you proceed when you final the closing?
Yeah, so for everyone here in the room, I think it's about Hotel Plan, you know, an iconic Swiss brand. So, and I was working with them in the past on a supplier and a customer basis. I think it's an iconic brand and it's a fabulous team, and it's the match. I think they're as passionate as we as DERTOUR. They're like us, a trusted travel expert team, and there's a very good cultural match. There's obviously a lot of business matches. There are a lot of synergies, and I think together we will build something which is much stronger than each of the businesses alone. And therefore, we are extremely excited about this opportunity, not only as it's a great business opportunity, it's also working with these teams of true experts who fit very well culturally. I think that's a big gift and a big opportunity for us.
Now, integrated hotel plan at the end, how is the further evolution you want to make with DERTOUR? So if you're talking about the integrated company, how do you want to drive the evolution of DERTOUR? Are there specific points you want to make?
That's the billion-dollar question.
Yeah.
1.5.
Well, that's the reason we are here.
That's very good. But you know, obviously, I had a lot of pre-talks with my team. We have a very good plan inside, but obviously we will shape it in a little bit more detail in the next weeks and months to come. But what is very clear, we want to grow. We want to grow in a sustainable and a profitable way. I think there's much more potential, and we want to do that in a differentiated way. So I think we will focus more and more on individualized, differentiated product experience with hotel, with great experiences via our DMC teams in resort. We will work in a more integrated way as a group, but also steering more onto our own hotels and our own destination management service. And then we want to be customer-centric. That's really the purpose, to serve the customer best. There's a lot of potential where we combine the tremendous power we have via our retail outlets, with our retail shops, and in combination with great technology to make them even more customer-centric and to serve the customer in a very seamless way. That's maybe the big pillars of our strategy going forward.
But sounds to me also very tech-driven at the end of the day, because we have a session today on the stage later on about individualization, and we see it's going to be a very hard tech approach. What do you think? Can you deliver?
Yes and no. So, as I said at the beginning, holidays is one of the real-life experience where people spend a lot of money, and we should not underestimate it. I think you don't do holidays on a smartphone. You do it in resort, you do it in a city, you do it somewhere in the nature, and to deliver that, obviously, tech will be a tremendous enabler. And that's also maybe the misperception about AI. AI is not so much about replacing people, it's making the work for people easier, to provide even a better experience. And that's maybe the approach which we want to do at DERTOUR, to really use technology to make our processes more seamless and to serve the customer in a much better way. And that's also a big differentiator. We are proud about our destination management service and our retail personnel. The world is so complex to have true travel experts who serve the customer in preparation of their holidays, or if there is a problem in the serve, is a key differentiator, and we will keep that competence and we will push it even further.
And now you're also in the volume business with many of your brands. Where do you see the big differentiation points in a volume business? We know that we can differentiate in similar aspects of a product or so, but do you see a chance as a volume operator to differentiate?
Yeah, of course. I think that's volume is important. You need size. I think size really matters. I think that gives you scale, that gives you advantages with hoteliers, with airline partners, with tech partners to invest. But I think that's actually one of our strengths. When I speak about differentiation, it's our own hotel portfolio, but it's also our specialists. So we have in our group at the moment more than 30 specialist businesses who do very tailor-made experiences for our customers. And that's something where we see much higher growth rate than and we see overall very high growth rates, but I think we clearly outperform with our specialist businesses, and which proves that our strategy on that perspective is right.
Sounds very good. So take it one more. Means you will focus very much on specialization as well, or is it volume as well as differentiation as well as specialists? It's coming
to do
all
it
together.
Effectively, you have to do it. So I think the mainstream volume business, which is still a great customer experience and a great product, I think that's the base, and we will build pillars with basically our specialist businesses and our own products like the hotels on top.
Coming once more back to your experience you made with Flix, I think, do you have any kind of takeaway you can take into your future role about the specific effects you have as a tech company? So I just want to point out, because I know you got a new system some years ago at the DERTOUR Group. I think you have a huge effort to do to get all on a kind of good industrial level on tech aspects. I think it's a little bit more difficult to act in this case as if you're starting as a startup like Flix did some years ago.
Yeah, that might be true, but also at Flix we had such a tremendous growth. The core, that was one platform, but we did more than 25 M&A transactions in the recent years. We took over Greyhound, a company which had 40 years old code. So I think we had to replace the tech platform and we had to integrate a lot. So I think that's not too dissimilar what I see at the moment at DERTOUR. It's maybe as a younger business, also from a generation, I think in terms of employees, I think maybe there is more an affinity and an openness to embrace change and to embrace technology and to be maybe more digitalized in your mindset, which makes it easier to build these global platforms. But I have huge respect for the DERTOUR Group, that they have used the pandemic to start and to roll out a global platform and to invest in such a difficult time into future technology. But of course, getting better never stop, and therefore we have still to do a lot of homework to get better.
Sounds interesting, and perhaps once more looking also on your different parts of your entire corporation. Like if you're talking about retail, just a small example. If you have if you're looking at the Swiss market with Hotelplan and Kuoni, where are you looking for the retail business for the future? Can you learn from Switzerland, for example, for the other source markets? We know quite well, I think some of you know, there's a very good retailing organization you have now with Hotelplan and Kuoni. What can you assume there?
You know, we always learn from best practices, and that's not, it can be based on an individual, it can be based on a country, it can be based on a regional organization, and I would not limit that to Germany or to Switzerland. We can also learn from our Czech colleagues who are very active and who deliver great service, and I think also the combination of maybe you searching online and then converting the customer by using really our experts in the travel retail shops. I think that's processes. So I would not limit that to a specific country organization or regional organization. I think it's about lifelong learning, and it's really every best practice. We will copy that with pride and steal it with pride, as I usually say. And there's a lot of potential to do so at DERTOUR.
Perhaps just to round up our interview, how would you see, or what would you expect for the entire industry in terms of change? What does the industry have to change? In the morning time, we had a very interesting session together with Jens Bischof about, he was a little bit complaining about the industrial situation. I mean, you're also coming from the airline business, so we have a huge cost pressure on the industry, specifically with the airline industry. Mm-hmm. What is your experience, and what would you suggest for the industry to change?
I would say getting better never stops. So we have to remain innovative. So that's it's all about. I think the desire to travel, that will always stay. I think it has been there many, many years ago when everything started in the travel industry. And we see it's a long-term growth industry. You always see in travel and mobility, it's usually growing faster and outperforming the underlying GDP. And that's fantastic to work in a growth industry, and we are all privileged to do so. But what we have to do is we always have to put the customer desires, the customer interests at the center of our doing. And if we do so, I think then we jointly will be successful.
Yes, I think this is what we can do for the entire industry and expect from the industry, but also we are getting new government in some weeks, hopefully. What would you wish from the government side, from the political side, to help the industry to do the right job?
Yeah, from an industry perspective, that's not only the German government here, it's maybe also on a European level, if I talk about the European package directive. So there's a lot of tendency to over-regulate the markets. And that's maybe was a little bit exaggerated. And there are good talks with people in Brussels, but also here in our source markets with the respective local governments. I think for Europe as a whole, especially what has happened in the past week, so I think it's important that we still allow business, and I'm not talking only about the travel industry, I'm talking a little bit about overall businesses and the industry. We should push back a little bit on regulation and allow entrepreneurial business to really develop in the best way possible.
Great. Christoph, it was a pleasure to have you here on stage.
Thank you, Markus. My pleasure.
Great words. Thank you very much. And yes, so I would say thanks to you, audience. And right away, in 5 minutes' time, we will have the next very interesting round when we are talking about the future of the German travel tour operator market. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.